Hey guys, welcome back. We have a wild article to take a look at today, thanks to Auburn35. Auburn is always sending me good stuff. Thank you once again, Auburn, for sending me this. Before we get into it, a little reminder, there's a link down below. If you would like to know what all the discount codes that I have are, they're all there. As well as some other stuff that if you're in the market anyway for this stuff, here's some awesome places to shop. Click here before you shop and support the channel, basically at no extra cost to you. Sweet, right? All right, we have an article. This is ridiculous. I've seen a lot of ridiculous articles. My apologies, Camille, fine, but this is a wild statement. We have a USA Today article here titled, "How much are your old Pokemon trading cards worth? ? Values could increase in 2024. So, wow. Okay. We get a lot of them that are like, oh, hey, under your bed, there might be a Pikachu illustrators. You might have half a dozen of them. You could be the richest man on the planet. Just crazy stuff like that because it's going to get clicks. People are going to click it. They're going to get some ads. They're going to maybe sign up for USA Today Premium, which, yep, there it is up at the top. Subscribe now, $1 for the first 6 months. That kind of thing. It's usually not good advice. It's usually not written by somebody that knows anything about Pokemon, or maybe she does. Maybe she does. Maybe I'm mistaken. She does know. But it's the same like clickbaity, misleading nonsense with how much is your crap worth and values could increase in 2024, which is a wild statement. I don't think we're going to see much increasing. No, okay, there's going to be certain items. Certain items will probably increase in value in 2024. But for the vast majority of things, remember, we're coming off the pandemic. Yes, that wild craze where everything was blowing the hell up. We'll take a look at some prices on some, I guess we'll look at some examples later on in the video here after we get through the article in terms of what's going up, what's going down, how's it going around. But, okay, Pokemon is not dead. Spoiler alert, Pokemon's not dead. We're just kind of, it seems like we're gonna retrace. Most stuff is probably going to retrace to where it should be, either 2019 levels or maybe it goes even beyond that a little bit. Who knows? It depends on the item. It largely depends on the item, but the vast majority of stuff is a downward trend right now. Yes, it wasn't sustainable. No, everyone is not stuck at home at this moment in time. So unless Camille here is predicting the future and we're going to have COVID-2, and for some reason everyone's going to be locked in again, and they're also now they're gonna print some money. Maybe some stuff goes up in value. So, well, the wild statement, wildly clickbaity, irresponsible statement. Do not expect stuff to go up. This is coming from someone that owns a ton of Pokemon cards. If Pokemon cards go up, it benefits me greatly. I promise. This is not me saying like I don't see anything going up. Not at least not even close to how it has in the recent past. We still got some downward. We're still downward dog here. We're ready to get pumped in the butt a little bit. But that's the beauty of being in it for the long term. You gotta know. You gotta prepare yourself to be in Pokemon cards when it's not glamorous. We got the picture, just a picture of an 8.5 illustrator. Wild that man, I should have had in this video the illustrator. We had 2 9s being sold by what I assume is the same person, a certain numbers back to back, and one sold privately, according to Golden, for $2 million, and then it was like 500,000 or something for the second one that sold publicly. Wild how that happens, right? You would think that if that person, maybe they'd want a matching set, and maybe they would pay more than a quarter of the price. All right, we got the Pikachu Illustrator. Is one of the most iconic high-end Pokemon cards there is. According to the digital card trading company Collectors, Logan Paul owns the only PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator in the world, the one he wore around his neck at WrestleMania earlier in 2023. The photo is a PSA 8.5 copy, PSA graded earlier in 2023. So why didn't it's weird that you're like gonna mention the Logan Paul crap, but at the same time, you're gonna show a different copy. Little reminder, if you guys haven't seen this video, I'll leave a link to it down below. But we got the old history of the, this is the PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator. And no, it is not a 10 at this point in time. It is a 9. It was a 9. It was a 9 multiple times. It was resubmit back when PSA didn't give a shit about Pokemon. It was, I can't even remember what the number was. It was like $7. No, maybe it was less than that. It was like $4 or something. It was less than $10 to submit this thing over and over again. There was no upcharge because it was an Illustrator. Again, this was PSA back in their sports time when Pokemon was not necessarily profitable, when Pokemon wasn't their focus, when Pokemon wasn't getting submit a whole lot to them, so they just graded it as a whatever. So yes, it was, from anything and everything that I've heard, I have no idea how many times it was resubmit, but I have heard that it was resubmit multiple times. Who knows how many times it was a 9 before I got a 10. There's a reason. There's probably a big, juicy reason that they never show the back of the PSA 10 Illustrator. Weird, huh? It's weird that we can't. There's no pictures of the back of it. We can see it in a pizza box before it was a 10, but we don't get to see it. So just a little reminder here that anything and everything that Logan Paul touches and or numbers that are associated with him, take them with a giant grain of salt. That's what I do. That's what I would recommend. Again, that's just my opinion. But when Shine, the guy that supposedly sold the fake G.I. Joe case that definitely wasn't going on Liquid Marketplace, when he says that the $3.5 million sale was fake, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that he doesn't have any motivation to say that. I mean, it was privately to me, but essentially, everything is smoke and mirrors with this stuff. Take it, be very careful. The highest of high ends, you're going to say, oh my God, look, record sales. Yeah, well, unless those record sales are very public record sales, I'm not trusting any of it at this point in time. You got to remember, there are people that have there are some falling knives. There are some absolute falling knives. Maybe people decide to make some stuff up. Maybe they fake some sales. Whether it's, usually it's going to be on the higher end things, but you got to be careful for all of that stuff. Remember, people have the motivation to tell you that values could increase in 2024, even though it is very unlikely. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it is almost impossible. Short of some crazy event happening, short of cherry picking some individual card that was like, okay, well, there's only been a couple that sold. Maybe it goes up in price. Maybe something goes out of print. Maybe some of the Sword and Shield stuff, it drops too hard and people want to pick it up because it's super cheap. For the most part, I think we're going to continue to see stuff go down and or be very, very stagnant for 2024. All right, here we go. Here's where it gets juicy. It takes about 25 years for something to really start to feel nostalgic, and Pokemon cards will soon be a hot new item for vintage collectors, according to some experts. What is PK saying? He was, I think on this video yesterday, he was talking about how he got outbid and someone won a first edition Poliwrath for $250. PSA 10, Poliwrath, a holographic, first edition base, $250. Where's the hot shit coming from? My apologies, but I think maybe we got the blinders on here. You notice that this article mentions nothing about the pandemic. It'll mention Logan Paul multiple times because that's fucking flashy and gets clicks. But where's the hey, the prices are all going down. Not all, but vast majority of the prices are falling. They're falling. It's coming back down to earth. Again, it's going to be non-glamorous. Are there new people entering the hobby? Absolutely. Are there people that entered during the pandemic that will keep on collecting because they found something that they love? Absolutely. But the thing is, most of the people, not most of the people, I don't know, some large percentage of the people, we're not going to put a number on it, do not want to be in Pokemon when the prices are not doing cool things. It's easy to be a Pokemon collector when everything you buy goes up in value. That's fucking awesome. I can just buy a booster box and in a couple months it doubles in price. Sick. Oh, why would I not buy this stuff? It's free tendies. Not anymore. No, it's not. You might have to hold on to a booster box for 5 years. You might have to hold on to it for 10 years. It might stay at the same price for 3, 4, maybe even 5 years. Probably not 5 years. At 5 years, it's probably gone up to some degree. But at that point, if it's creeping and deeping, you have to sell it. A lot of people, for some reason, we've seen a ton of this recently, don't know how to sell things. I'm here to help you guys. If you're in the Discord, jump on in the Discord. If you don't know how to sell stuff, there's plenty of people that have started selling stuff, plenty of people that have been selling stuff for years that will help you sell stuff. It doesn't matter if you want to be a flipper or a dipper, or if just in the long term, maybe your collection goals change, anything like that. You should be setting yourself up to be able to sell in case you need to, if you plan to eventually, that kind of thing. Set up an eBay. Set up an eBay account. If you have questions about it, join the happy hour. Ask about it there. Saturdays, happy hour, Poison Video Chat. Come on in there. And everyone will be very helpful. Don't, like, if you come in there and you're like a Dick Wiener Baby Supreme, you ask for help, but then you tell them what to do, that you should do. If you disagree with everyone that's trying to help you out, yeah, you're probably not going to get along. You got to get along with everyone. It's very easy to do so. Just be humble. If you're new to it, ask for help. There are plenty of people that can help you. Promise. Not only that, but especially if you're a new seller, if you're starting out, you can get advice, but you can also use the eBay self promotion. The links to that are in that same link tree. There's channels in there where you just copy paste the link to your listings, and voila, they get advertised for free. You post something interesting, it's going to get at least 1,000 people looking at it extra that otherwise wouldn't have. Free advertising. It's all done through affiliate links, so it also supports the channel here. It's sick. This is like all like valuable stuff. Like this crap. This is not useful. This is not useful. The hype dogging, false positivity, all that crap is not useful. It's a waste of time. Maybe it's good to some. I don't know if it's good. It's like a double-edged sword, because like Logan Paul getting people into it. Is that good? As long as they see that like he's not a good thing for Pokemon, but they get into Pokemon, so there's new interest that's generated, but also at the same time, we got the dude that with the Crypto Zoo and the Dink Doink and the Liquid Marketplace and all that shit, that like it's just absolute Cancer City. I don't know what to call it other than that. And anyone and everyone that is like, it's like, oh, the only reason Pokemon went up is Logan. Like, no, not even close. All the other collectibles, they went up, and they didn't have Logan Paul. They didn't need Logan Paul. It was people at home, free tendies, getting checks. They're at home. They're collecting stuff. It's sexy when the prices of stuff go up. Same with video games. Same with the other trading card games. All that stuff. I tried to warn people about the trading card games that popped up in that era, especially the one that was pretending to be Pokemon, or everyone was treating it as, oh, this is the next Pokemon. I got to get the early booster boxes because look what happened to Pokemon. Where are they now? Remember, trading cards, there were lots of trading cards in the past, tons of trading card games, a lot of them die. Most of them fail, most of them are never going to achieve the top echelon of trading card games with your Pokemon, with your Magic the Gathering, with your Yu-Gi-Oh!, that kind of stuff. If like Digimon can't do it, couldn't do it. I mean, there's new Digimon now. I think that's not doing so hot either. But old Digimon, still not expensive. I was looking at booster boxes. That'd be kind of fun to open. But inexpensive. I would not expect to make anything off of that. It's not. Again, if you enjoy a trading card game, regardless of how successful, of how expensive it is, and you want to put the money into it, and you're understanding the fact that it's not a Stonk Dog Extreme makeover, go to town. Enjoy what you enjoy. I have Metabots cards. I've said this a jillion times. I have Metabots cards. I have the full collection. I have a bunch of signed cards by the voice actors. Are they worth much or anything? No, not really. No, not a whole lot. But it's cool. It was a cool thing to complete. It was very hard to complete, mostly because of the fact that people aren't reselling it because there's no value in a lot of that stuff. But it was still a fun and a nice little break from Pokemon. So, as I always say, do not burn yourself on Pokemon. All right, next. Well, 2021 technically marked the 25-year milestone for the Pokemon franchise's 1996 launch in Japan. The base set launch in the United States in 1999 is widely attributed as the key start of the global Pokemon craze, according to a spokesperson from Collectors. Well, I think even before before that, because you had when did the cartoon come out? The anime? When did the anime come out? I think people were already pretty into Pokemon before the cards. The games were very big before the card game. All of that stuff was kind of already in place. Not to mention the fact that, like, this article is now, it's like 25 years exactly. That's the boom. That's the boom we're waiting for. Now, could it be in and around that? How many of those people that would have been maybe potentially interested 25 years later already entered? A lot of people entered in the pandemic. A lot. So anyone that I think would have been right at that 25-year mark probably already... Pokemon was everywhere. Every Twitch streamer was all of a sudden breaking boxes, was doing crazy Pokemon openings, shit like that. Where are they all now? They're gone. It's not glamorous anymore. It's not the new hot thing. Now it's showing your titties. Well, no, not all of your titties, just the top of your titties. It's like implied nudity going on. It's weird. Collectors told USA Today that its prediction for Pokemon cards is backed by years of data. Okay, the company said it has consistently seen a spike in demand after 25 years across sports cards and all categories of collectibles because an item typically reaches its full nostalgia factor. So, I mean, people are probably going to be in and around that, but remember, it must be 25 years since, like, the video games and stuff like that. So those same people, the same kids, me, my friends at school, we had the video game, and we had the cards, and we had the movies, and we watched the show, and we had the Pogs, and we had the bouncy balls with the little Pokemon in it. That stuff already existed. So, like, I don't know if it's just like, oh fuck, I forgot there was cards that came out. It's been 25 years now. I think this whole thing kind of gets washed out a little bit. The whole 25-year prediction kind of gets washed out because the pandemic kind of just threw us for a loop. So a lot of the people that are in and got out, here we go. We got them wearing the PSA 10. Illustrator, Logan Paul left and The Miz entering arena during WrestleMania at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on April 2nd, 2022. Paul was wearing a Pikachu card worth more than $5 million as a necklace. Now, this is a strong statement. I love how they will pump and they will say it's worth that much. I can't guarantee you, but I would be very surprised if anyone wanted to pay anywhere near that at the time or any other way, because again, with the amount of the lack of transparency and the amount of copy pasting by journalists it's just hilarious. Just last year, YouTuber Logan Paul made headlines for wearing a Pikachu card as a necklace during WrestleMania. After Paul's win in the ring, the Guinness Book of World Records was there to award him a plaque for purchasing the most expensive Pokemon trading card sold at private sale, a listed price of So if the $3.5 million sale for the case was fake, and then this happened afterwards, do you guys think there's any chance that $5.275 million sale was also fake? Conveniently, it's almost never mentioned the fact that it was a partial trade. I didn't see any receipts. Did you just put a random value on what the card was worth beforehand? Like, you would think that if Guinness, you would think that they'd have like the receipts shown, like here's what he paid for it, here's the transaction, all that other shit. No, they just want a big number. They want to put it in there. They want to pump it. They're gonna pump it real hard. You go on. You get Ken Golden to ask you how much it's worth if he can put an offer on it while you're doing a box break half-assed because you don't give a shit about Pokemon anymore and you're just flipping through and you're like, can we just look at the holos? It's pretty sad. Like, you can't even sit down and pretend to open a booster box of first edition base and be excited about it. That you're kind of flipping through and rushing it. For people who grew up collecting TCG cards like Pokemon, that moment is occurring right now. And an important driver for being able to act on that nostalgia is having disposable income, which also happens when you're in your 30s and 40s, said Collector CEO Nat Turner. The other thing that happens in your 30s and 40s is having kids, which also triggers the nostalgia receptor. Man, those receptors are all burnt out, I think. I don't think there's anyone that was just like, you know, I know Pokemon's the hot thing right now, and everyone's making free tendies, but I'm gonna hold out. I gotta wait for the 25 years, and and then I'm getting in. I'm gonna be nice and patient with it. I mean, they might have been better off in terms of if they didn't want to get burned on buying a bunch of stuff. Because if anyone that didn't see or didn't know a lot of, especially the vintage stuff, even a lot of the modern stuff, like the stuff that just spiked like crazy, the new hot thing, the people that got in and were only seeing and only chasing the new hot thing, or the vintage stuff that spiked like crazy, like they got burned. They got burned hard, and there's no 2024 that's going to get them that money back. Whether or not that was free tendies, free money from the government or not, free money. When trading cards reach their vintage age, around 25-year mark, Turner said it sees a surge of demand for authenticated and graded copies of these items. Wait a minute. Are you just trying to plug your grading services and authentication services? And the scarcity of the perfect and near perfect cards helps drive the value of the market. So, I don't know. That's the thing too. Pokemon was around and has been around and always has been around. There's been lulls. There's been quiet times in the market. There's been exciting, crazy pandemic times. And then like back in 1999, back in the late 90s with the video games, with the cards and everything else. I mean, at that point, people weren't stonk dogging them. They were more just like kids were crazy about that stuff. So yes, there are people that are going to enter the hobby. And again, most people that enter the hobby do not like go hardcore. If you're watching this video, you're probably pretty hardcore with Pokemon collecting. That, or you just really want to listen to me for some reason. But it's usually about a year in, they burn out, or they collect what they wanted to collect. They got their little nostalgia hit. They got their little taste, and then they move on to something else. They sell their stuff, or they stick it away somewhere. All right, let's take a look at some prices. We'll go to base set. Why not? Because these are the 25-year dudes that are coming up. You'll see here that we have a whole lot of stuff that's retracing. These are the graded copies, so I mean we can turn off the PSA 10 here to get an idea. A lot of this stuff hasn't retraced to kind of where it, if we were just going with like a linear kind of like slow climb, which it has been. I mean, there's stuff like Pokemon Go. When Pokemon Go came out, there was a spike there, but you can see pandemic spike is right in here. We got that 2020, 2021 spikerini. This is the, ignore the image here. This is just the base unlimited Charizard. My God, did people ever get burned on that? Small fraction. I mean, base unlimited was printed in excess. There's a reason why 10 years ago, base unlimited was cheap, because they printed a lot of it, and the cards were not very hard to pull. So people are going to say, oh yeah, but Sword and Shield, they printed so much of it. Sword and Shield Chase is real. The base set is like 2 booster boxes, and if you don't finish the set, like something went awry. Less than 2 booster boxes, you should be able to finish that bad boy. This day and age, when you have to open, I don't even know what the worst set would be, but like 3,700 packs of Evolving Skies, and you can't complete the set. That's the kind of thing we're dealing with here. Like 100 booster boxes, you don't finish the set. It's wildly different. Now the bulk, the commons, uncommons, all that non-hollow, hollow stuff like that, that's just like people are going to get an abundance of it. Yeah, it matters for that stuff. The energies, when they say they printed a billion cards in the last year, yeah, well, a lot of that is the bulky stuff. So you're seeing there's a little bit of a spread going on, a little bit of a spread eagle going on in terms of the chase cards and the rest of the set versus, you know, something like a base set where you got the hollows, you got the chase cards pretty often. Like it was like a 1 in 3 packs to get a chase card, and there weren't that many chase cards. Then you have the first edition and the unlimited. The unlimited was printed over and over and over and over again. All right, what do we got here? We got the shadow. No, this is the first edition holo. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, this was the shadowless one. Shadowless. We get the first edition. Again, well, this one you don't have to ignore the image because it is the first edition Charizard. But if you look here, we got some retracing, but still it's still we got a downward trend. You gotta suck it up, Buttercup. If you wanna play in this realm, there's lots of stuff that seems like it's a good deal now. Maybe it is a good deal now, but again, there's no coming back to this. Short of some weird, crazy stuff going on, this was not normal. This was normal. And in comparison to this, it makes it look absolutely ridiculous. Because there's such a spike here that everything else looks flat. But it was increasing in value over time, slowly, which is healthy. We got let's look at some modern. So again, we got, these were kind of like, it was a weird thing where no one cared about Sun and Moon. And then all of a sudden, Sun and Moon alt arts were hot shit Honda. Everyone was buying them. Everyone was getting them. Everyone was grading them. The tag team alt arts were super duper McScooper. Again, another instance of be careful when something spikes in price. Be careful when something is the hot item. Be careful when something spikes in price that doesn't look natural. You come in and look at this and you see something go, whoop! Careful. Be careful. Next, we got Moonbryon. Very cool. Looks like Moonbryon's kind of just floating around here. We got a little bit of a 3-month increase. We got if we look at the 6-month, we got a decrease. So this is like out at the start here where people didn't give a shit about Moonbryon, I guess, as much at least. It was expensive, but again, actually we'd have to go back further than that. But Moonbryon was not Moonbryon-y at the time. But yeah, we have quite a little slope here. And continuing on, we got the PSA 10, PSA 9. Again, it's a popular card. I'm sure it's not going to zero. If it goes to zero, people will just buy all of them. But at the same time, I don't know if you want to be, the highs here are pretty wild. $1,500. Is it going to taper off? Is there going to be a Moonbryon 2? Are people going to forget about it eventually? I mean, no one's going to forget about Moonbryon. But is it going to be not the cool hot thing and people don't necessarily want to spend as much money on it? Probably. Charizard, Hidden Fates. What do we got here? Over the last month, it has been coming down. Not much. It's within the $10 range here. But if we go 3 months, it's coming down. If we go 6 months, and overall it kind of came up, and now it's kind of coming back down a little bit. So again, downward trend on most everything. We got Burning Shadows. Again, we're going a little bit older. We're into the Sun and Moon era. We're going to show everything here, even if it isn't going down to meet the narrative that we're kind of spewing here at this point in time. But for the most part, stuff is coming down. Man, that was a hard card to pull. And the rest of the stuff in the packs is not exactly valuable. So Charizard V, Champion's Path. This thing was not that hard to pull. Champion's Path was like peak of peaks. Like that was right in the pandemic boomer. And it looks like it's doing things. It kind of went up, it kind of came down, and now it's kind of maybe going back up. But again, if you look, this is the product's not available anymore. It's a Charizard. It's a shiny Charizard. There will be many more Charizards printed. Do people kind of forget about this one a little bit? Yes, but at the same time, when you can't open it anymore, when the product is not really feasible to open anymore, because again, these sets, the specialty sets where it's like Charizard or bust, if you're not hitting that Charizard and you open that product, you are deleting money. And this is coming from someone that knows how to delete some money. All right, Charizard V, alternate full art. We got a Sword and Shield 09 Brilliant Stars. All right, so in the 1 month, it looks like it's coming back up a little bit. But in the year, on the whole, it looks like it might have bounced a little bit here. Whether or not that comes down, who knows? But again, hard to pull. Awesome artwork. Charizard V, alternate art, Sword and Shield, alt arts. And I don't know. There's like something about like at the end of Sword and Shield. I think we saw maximum kind of like burnout. Because it's wild to me that people like Sword and Shield, but they don't like Scarlet and Violet because the artwork is on par. You got the SIRs. You got inexpensive product if people want to open some for fun. Again, not a good decision financially, usually to open product. You can look into that beforehand, but the expected value of the contents. If people can make money opening the packs, they will until the price of the packs goes up to the price of the contents. It's just kind of an infinite opening glitch until that point. We got Reshiram and Charizard GX for fun here. We got Unbroken Bones. Again, it's a tag team. It's Rainbow. It was Chase at one point in time. Looks like we're going on down. It did come up a little bit. It got a little bump here earlier in the year. But now we are sinking and dinking, which is kind of the theme. That's kind of the theme. I mean, you can look up a million different cards. You can look at the market as a whole. For the most part, stuff is retracing. It's coming back down to normal. It's the people that were in it for the dollar bills, the quick flips, the free money. They're not here anymore. You see it even on Whatnot and anything like that. Who's doing breaks on Whatnot now? No one. I shouldn't say no one. The very few. Everyone that was breaking now all of a sudden is doing gambling things instead, because when you can't sell Pokemon to people, you might as well sell them gambling. And that's why we're seeing it. It's turning into like an online casino. Maybe I'll have a video about that in the near future. Just everything turning to mystery items, reselling stuff that people already bought, repacks instead of actual packs. No one's buying packs anymore. The Whatnot G-Baller Flipper Dips, they can't go to Walmart, they can't fill their cart, they can't sell it to you on a platform because it's hard to find or anything like that. The glamour days, the glamorous Pokemon days are over. For the most part, we see some weird stuff going on with like exclusive stuff, people clinging on to that last little bit of like flippability in order to make the free money, the quick money. The stolen product stuff is still unfortunately an issue, but for the most part, if you're hanging on, hang on in there. It's okay. It'll again, after stuff kind of settles the way it needs to settle, for the most part, everything should slowly increase in value as long as Pokemon is going. Pokemon has been going for all these years. Reminder. So all the people that were in it, there's still kids from every generation that grew up with a certain few generations that grew up with those sets in the cards. They'll probably be back at some point in time. Maybe it'll be 25 years, maybe it'll be more or less than that, but Pokemon is not going anywhere. This is not a doomsday Pokemon is dead kind of video. This is just guys, set your expectations in a realistic way. 2024 is, from anything that anyone can predict with any sort of certainty, or I guess anything that there's nothing that indicates anything's blowing up anytime soon. Will it someday? Sure. Is that day going to be in 2024? Probably not. Does it warrant making an article saying that your cards can increase in value in 2024? Also probably not. But if you enjoy the hobby, stick with it. It pays. It pays to be in it long term. Join the Discord. See you guys next time. Bye.